how do you think that that can impact like the business culture that you're most involved with in the people? Because obviously, like in your position, you're in a good spot to impact, you know, people um, down, and not everyone can, like, you know, husbands and wives with their family, kids with their school teams, you know, everything that you do, like how does that impact and lead
Yes.
into?
See, I don't think it's different. I don't think you are different at work than you are at school, than you are at home. I don't think that, oh, that was because I have, that's work related. I have to, that's business. That's just business. Well, business isn't different than home, and it's not different than school. You're not a different person when you go to those three things. It's not, it's, you are a consistent, life-giving, value-adding person that God made, and that doesn't change when you go somewhere else or you're not at work or so. I have to do this to get business. That's not a good excuse. It's not true. You're just not a different person. So how does it impact? I mean, I think the only way to truly connect with people is to be free yourself inside. I don't. Not long ago, I you know, I kind of came to the realization that if you are, if you're keeping yourself cleaned up inside and you're trying to walk in stride with God, and in the ways that He's asked you to do things, He actually does change your heart. Like He would change who you are. So you don't have to act like it anymore. You can be it. And so I think if we can get that message to a lot of leaders, to where be selfish enough, I mean, like work on yourself enough to have an impact naturally in your life just by how you live it, then I think the world would change. Don't act like it, but be it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of doers of the word, I think is how you would say that in the Bible has is there's a lot of doers of the word, but I think He wants you to be the word.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where I'm getting at. And I've noticed that lately too, like a lot of things I'll journal or talk about, where He's giving me this, you know, I'm seeing things differently, or He's giving me more clear vision about certain things in life or people or whatever, and being aware of that. Then all of a sudden I hear the scripture that comes along with it. But He'd already told me that. And so it's just more confirmation that I'm real, Andy. Like I just gave you that and I showed you exactly how it works, and then I showed you where I put that in the Bible. Like a lot of years ago.
Yeah.
And so I need Him to do that for me, because I need that reminder from Him that I'm right here and I'm real and I love you, and you can relax and you can rest in my word and my peace, and I want you to just absorb who I am and look for ways to become more like me, and that's not a pressure, but that's an opportunity, you know. And so I think the way it makes an impact is for somebody to be selfish enough to be able to love somebody else without having to try to get something back from them.
Yeah.
And when you can truly, like, people truly see you care, then they're going to care about what you say, and they're going to do and act and want to follow you.
Yeah.
Naturally, you connect with people because you truly care. You're not asking them to fill a need in you, because you get them filled from it. So I feel like that is probably there's a lot of books you can read on trying to figure out how to be an influencer, but I would rather not just be the doer of the books. I want to be the influencer. I don't want to act like them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of leaders, I want a lot of people to know that.
One of the
There's
biggest
a lot less
things.
pressure.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that you've said that has impacted my thought process I think it was about a year ago, and probably whenever you started, I got kind of showing you these things, but you had said, you never go into a meeting with only that person. You go into a meeting with that person and their baggage, everything that they've gone through in life, everything that they're hurting with now, everything that they, all the pain that they have in their life is also walking in and sitting at the table right in front of you.
Like the sum total of when
Yeah.
they were born to that very
Yeah.
day, that second. And
Every
everything that happened to
perspective.
them in between.
Yeah, and I think you went on to say, or it was a different time that you kind of compounded on that idea, is basically like you got to talk to the raw person, who God's called them to be, and to see that, which is hard to do. When did you see that? When did you first walk into a meeting, looked at someone, and then God showed you, wow,
The big
this guy
picture.
just brought all that crap in here into this meeting. Was it one time, or was it?
No, I think when you I think that's again like you try to be selfish enough to clean yourself up enough to be open to doing that.
Mm-hmm.
To where when somebody is not in stride, you can recognize that and also because of the struggles you've gone through to figure your own stuff out, you recognize a lot of times, or it's very easy or apparent to recognize kind of somebody who might be doing something to fulfill some kind of need they have that's not really important to the conversation, or it's frugal, it's small in comparison to what really needs to happen, or they're trying to make themselves look good in some way that just doesn't really matter, but that
Yeah.
they have to do it because their dad didn't, or I don't know what their background is, but yeah, I mean, who knows what people have gone through. I think I did and said that in a way where we could be more compassionate about
You almost don't
who
even
we're talking with.
you don't know, to me, in a business. I haven't been in a ton of different meetings, but the few I have been, there's been tension immediately as you walk through the door, mostly on the other side of the table, immediately wanting to defend and fight their perspective in their life. And it's almost like when you have the thought process of being able to, not in an arrogant way, but seeing the fact that you're only defensive because you've gone into 100 of these fights with other contractors. It almost allows you to not throw punches back, not
Yeah,
to stand firm almost in a way that
you could be
that,
calm.
that they're probably not used to.
Yeah, you could be calm in the storm.
Yeah.
And then if you really realize that, he has prepared a table for you in the midst of your enemies, then you can act like you're sitting at the table that he prepared for you in the midst of his enemies. And he's be like, if you walk into some place and you don't have anything to defend, that we'll walk into an audit, 10 times, and we didn't try to do anything wrong, and all we did was follow what we had, and we tried to be as good about it as we could. And if they found some stuff that's off, and we just fixed it. I mean, okay, that sucks. I hate that we did that, but man, that looks like you're right on that,
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a defensive scenario, but had we walked in there knowing that we took invoices that weren't to that job and put it on this job and jacked them up, and so we could make the profit margins bigger illegally,
Mm-hmm.
we might be more defensive, we might be more scared
Yeah.
or in fear of what he may have found.
Yes.
And so we walk in there on the defense, ready to attack. I don't believe we haven't built this company that way. So we go in knowing that we did the best we could to put it together. We might be off. If he shows us something legitimate, great. If he doesn't, then we'll be able to show him where it's not. And I think most of the time when we walk in now, though, it's just more, how much are you looking to take off? Because it's not, we know that this was done based on the contract.
Yeah.
So, you're just trying to make yourself look good, probably, and so what is it that you're, let's just cut to the chase, cause
Yeah.
we can end this in 10 minutes, or we could be here for an hour and a half. So, and that's unfortunate too, and it shouldn't be that way. You know, if somebody signs a contract, you bill it like a contract, and you should get paid like the contract, you know, but, I think in our world, there's negotiations that unfortunately have to happen just to move on, but isn't that true? Like, if you did something wrong, you kind of come into something more defensive, and we haven't had to do that.
Yeah.
And to me, that's huge. That's huge. I wouldn't want to ask you to do something illegal and then defend it.
Yeah.
How crazy. Why don't we just do it right, move to the next one, do it right, and hopefully people will see we're doing it right and give us more business because of that. I mean, that's my thought. Like, I don't have to worry about their audits because they're on.
Yeah.
Or the amount of money it takes for me to do the audit would be more than they're accidentally off if they are. If that makes sense.
Yes.
So maybe someday that'll catch on.
Maybe.
I haven't seen that yet.
I hope.
Yeah. But we're gonna keep doing it because it's just right. You know?
Mm-hmm. And it allows you to move on to the next one internally
Yeah.
without bringing baggage. Like, because they could very well, carriers can't they very well audit an entire,
Year.
they can go, yeah, I mean, they can go all the way back and audit you. I mean, so you can move on knowing you did the best you can, knowing that you worked with everyone, the consulting companies. I mean,
Yeah. And if
everyone
there's
involved,
something-
you did everything, you gave them everything they needed.
Yeah. So how can you be wrong by that? When you communicated it all, you did it all to the best of your ability in an honest way. If there's something off, then thank you for showing me that. I'm fixing that, and I'm gonna make note of that for the next one. I don't wanna be off. But in your head, you're done.
Yeah.